The Down to Earth Protein Corporation, manufacturers and marketers of the Squiggly Wiggly Home Worm Ranch, are proud to present the following program.
Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. Gonna mulch it deep and low, gonna make it fertile ground.
Hello, welcome to Miss Linda's Garden. This is your invitation to take a little tour with me around the backyard and see where I spend some time.
Till the rains come tumbling down.
I'm coming up onto the deck now, and first of all, I guess I should see if you want the 10-cent tour or the 25-cent tour. The 25-cent tour is the one with gestures. Okay, we'll do the 25-cent tour. This place is a place that has lots of plants, lots of memories, and a little garden art. Some things I've found different places, and some things that have been given to me by different dear people. But first of all, we're going to go to the ranch. The Worm Ranch, that is. Well, this all started about a year and 2 months ago when Jennifer and I went to a composting class. And we learned about worm composting, and I decided it would be fine and fun. Let's see, Jennifer gave me these worms, which I use as a decoration for the ranch. And so we're going to open it up and give the little guys some new food. This is stuff I saved from the kitchen, and we got banana peels, coffee grounds, tea bags, a few tomato stems. Oh, look at it. Come and get it, guys. We got Wally and Willie and Wanda. And mix this around. Now, here's something that doesn't happen very often. They're going to get some new friends. 50 new red worms. Here's these little guys. I'll just sprinkle them in and they can make friends. And, oh boy, a lot of wiggling going on there. So, I'll just leave them there and come back later and add a little moisture and mix it around some. And this sign says, compost happens. That was a gift from a friend, good gardening friend. And here, go back to the Worm Ranch decorations. How many ranchers can say that they do their ranching from a relaxing position like this? Oh, I almost forgot to mention our sponsor. That's the Down to Earth Protein Corporation. They provide us with the Squiggly Wiggly Worm Ranch. Here's a treasure that we found on one of our trips. It was in an antique store, and I think it's probably a urinal or a bedpan for a guy that would have been used in a hospital. And so I turned it into a planter. I have a little geranium here and a succulent. And then here's a birdhouse made of seeds. This was sent to us by our friends, the Lukowitzes from New York. They used to live right across the street. And the birds and I both enjoyed the little seeds. Right here is the centerpiece. This is from the tables at Jennifer and Tony's wedding. so they gave them to different family members, and this is the one that I ended up with. We were at the Magnolia table. This is a birdhouse made by my friend Nancy when she was a student at San Jose State. It's got a place where you could put a rope through and hang it from a tree, but I don't want to take a chance on it getting broken. I think it's so cute. I just use it out like this. So far no birds have taken residence in it, but I enjoy just looking at it. Let's see what else we have. We got a theme going on out here of shoes and feet. Here's an old pair of galoshes that I've made into a planter. There's some purple oxalis coming out the top and some sedum there. Here's another old work boot. It's got sedum in it and some bulbs here. Here's some worm compost. It's making it a more happy plant. This is an asparagus fern. It's got these little green berries on it that will turn red later and look really cute. And here's a stained glass hummingbird who's taken up residence there. In this garden there's lots of volunteers. By that I mean things that have just come up without me planting them. And this is one, some kind of a palm. This is a pomegranate tree, which reminds me of the first pomegranate I ever saw that wasn't from a grocery store, and that was when we took a trip to Knott's Berry Farm. It was just amazing to me to look up in a tree and there were pomegranates growing. So it looks like we'll have a pretty good crop this year. I can see about 20 to 30 pomegranates from right here. Some that are up there. Last year Jennifer got up there and picked the ones that were growing up so high. Let's see, here's some more of the feet theme. Here's a cowboy boot with a little fuzzy succulent. Here's another cowboy boot, and this is a euphorbia, which is in the same family as the Christmas flower that I can't think of the name of right now. You know, the red one. And here's a little cowboy boot. Here's some Dutch shoes. And here's some sort of a vase that I made into a planter by drilling some holes in the bottom. Here's some feet that are holding this planter up off of its base. And got a lot of frogs in the garden, especially out front. So here's one that found his way back here. Oh, here's Party Cow. Party Cow came here from Texas. Thanks, Kathy. And he travels around to different places. Right now he's having a look at this flame flower that's from South America. One time on a trip we saw this fountain that we really liked in Cambria, so we came home and built one ourselves out of a big bucket and some different parts that we found at a hardware store. Let me plug it in and see if it works. It has one tiny little pot in here with a plant in it that's growing all these parts to it just out of this one little plant. It's got some ducks in the bucket and some other ducks around here and different seashells that I've collected. Well, let's go out and explore some other parts of the garden. This is a fig tree, one of several fig trees in the yard, and it's got a great crop this year. And I got a fig buddy, somebody besides me who likes figs. Maggie, come here, Maggie. This will be a first because usually she gets her figs by scavenging, but we're gonna pick a fig and share it. Maggie, come. Come over here, come on. Oh, you've been out scavenging already, I can see. You've been out in the fig tree in the far corner. How about if I pick a fig and we share it? How would that be? Let's see, this one? Nope, sometimes they look right, but then when you feel of them, they're not. Ah, Maggie, come. Come on, we'll share this fig. Ooh, let me test it first. That's pretty good. What do you think? Okay, sit. Sit. Maggie, sit. Yes, that's a good doggy. There you go. These are brown turkey figs. Okay, that's probably enough for now. I've had a really bumper crop of morning glories this year. They're crawling all over Otis. That's this little steel sculpture here that I found at a garden show. And they're crawling all over this area. It'll soon be time for them to come out, but they've been very happy here this year. I had a tower of them in another part of the yard that got so tall that it finally fell over, but it was fun to watch it grow up to about 8 feet. This is a birdhouse I got on my last trip to Texas for the family reunion. We went to this big flea market out from Lubbock where Kathy and Wes have a booth, and I found this birdhouse. And the lid, the roof is made from Texas license plates, and it's got a star on the front and a cutout for the birds to go in the shape of Texas, and then a horseshoe there as a part of the decoration. I just thought I had to have one. I found this birdhouse in Morgan Hill at the Mushroom Mardi Gras one year. It's made out of a boot, has a wooden shingled roof, and has barbed wire that you use as the hanger. I don't know if we've ever had any birds in it, but I like the way it looks. There's lots of places to sit in the garden. Here's a bench that I got from one of our customers who grows grass. They found these from a place in Scotland. They were old wagon wheels, probably 400 years old, and they made benches out of them. Maggie, come on. Ah, yes. It's nice to take time sometimes and sit down and actually enjoy the garden instead of always just working. Yeah, you're a good dog. Yeah. This is an area where we did have our swing, but it looked like the walnut tree was in danger of falling over onto it someday. So we moved the swing to another area And I dug up all the grass that was here and made a mound and tried to plant some interesting things here. This one just came up by itself within the last few months. This is a upside down vase that I won at a barbecue, and I decided to use it as a garden ornament. This is another volunteer plant. This is an ornamental pomegranate tree. Has cute little blooms. Got axelis here and some creeping vines that have crept from over in an area behind me. Here's some foxgloves that have passed their prime, but they did look cute earlier. Here's some oregano that's grown up by itself. And it's fun to just see what happens with this area. Here's little Freddy Frog. He seems to be happy here. The snails like him, and he just hoes up the area whenever he sees a stray weed or two. The persimmon tree is loaded with persimmons, but they're not ripe yet. This is the last day in September, and in about a month there will be lots of ripe persimmons. And we have persimmons all the way up through December usually. This is called the Angel area. This is where Casey, our cat, is buried. And there's different little things that have wings. This kitty cat angel has lost its bell for now, but we'll get it another one. And besides Casey, we've had other cats that have come to our yard just to die. You've heard of elephant burial grounds? Well, somehow cats like to come to our yard and die. We had one that was under the hot tub, another one that was on the front porch, and another one that was in the backyard. Here's a little doggy with angel wings. Here's a little angel, sits on this rock. And here's St. Christopher. Oh, he's got a fig that landed right on his head. Over on that rock is a little cow angel. And to the left of there is a little piggy angel that we got at our favorite restaurant, Wilma's, when it was closing. And here's the gardening angel, her little shovel. Here's where we moved our swing to when it looked like it was in danger of being felled by the walnut tree. Hey Maggie, wanna get on the swing? See, Maggie says, no thanks. It's nice to come out here on a cool morning and swing. This was a Father's Day present for John a few years ago, and we've all enjoyed it. Got plenty of room for us and for the doggy. This is a sign that Maggie gave me for Christmas one time. I think she found it in Sonora. I found this birdhouse in an antique store, made by some little kid, Jorge Manuel Colada. I just thought it was really cute. Can't imagine why his mother would give it away. So I adopted it. Got butterflies, flowers, happy things. This is a whimsical piece that I got from a guy who just finds old things and puts them together. This looks like a leg from some old chair or table. Here's a part out of a toilet. And this is some sort of a round metal disc that he cut and made a windmill out of. And I just thought it would have a place in our garden. This weather vane is on top of what was the kids' basketball post. And so now it has a new life as a weather vane and a Sometimes I get to come home for lunch, and in nice weather, which we have a lot of here, I come out here and put my lunch here and just sit back and relax for a while and have my lunch. This is a loquat tree providing all the shade, and Maggie likes it out here too. She enjoys coming home for lunch. This is the plow that we had all the time when I was growing up, so I used it as a kid when I would make my own little part of the garden, and Helen saved it for me. A few years ago, Gordon brought it to Phoenix when he was there on a trip, and then it stayed in Phoenix for a while. And this year, when Gloria had a friend who was coming past Morgan Hill, she and Gordon talked the friend into bringing the plow and dropping it off to me at the shop. So I'm really proud to have it. Has lots of memories, and it actually still works. This year hasn't been the greatest for tomato crops around here, but I had enough, mostly cherry tomatoes. Here's some of a kind that will last until in November or December, depending on the weather that we have. But I love tomatoes.
Homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes. What would life be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes. Well, you can go out to eat, and that's for sure, but there's nothing that a homegrown tomato won't cure. Put them in a salad, put them in a stew. You can make your own very own tomato juice. You can eat them with eggs and eat them with gravy. You can eat them with beans, pinto or navy. Put them on the side, put them in the middle. A homegrown tomato on a hot cake griddle.
What I always say is that any run-of-the-mill person with the dedication of St. Teresa can become a successful gardener. In other words, sometimes you just have to have patience. I had this lilac tree for about 6 years before it ever bloomed. It started blooming about 3 years ago, and now it has a few more blooms every year, and I really enjoy it. That's in the spring when it blooms, but I can tell that it's getting tuned up to have lots of blooms next year. And right here is a place that I sometimes take advantage of sitting down and actually enjoying the garden instead of just always being up and working in it. It's hard to remind yourself to do that sometime. I found this little plaque in a Goodwill store, which is a good reminder to enjoy the garden. It says, "What is this life full of care? We have not time to stand and stare, no time to stand beneath the boughs and stay as long as sheep or cows." And it just says that same thing over and over. This is my very favorite flower, I think. If I had to pick one favorite flower, it's Alströmerias. They bloom and bloom and bloom, and you can use them as cut flowers, and they stay for, probably a couple of weeks. They come in different flavors. This one is sort of a mauve and yellow, and then there's one over to the right of it that's not blooming right now, and it's more of a yellow. And then I have another one in another part of the yard that's sort of a hot pink. And out front I've got still another flavor. I really like Alstroemerias. Well, I debated long and hard about whether to even show you this area, since it's actually not that tidy. But it's like the makeup on the model. This is where all the magic happens, so I decided to show it to you. And now it's time for me to change hats and put on my plant manager hat. This is where I repot and work on new plants and take cuttings from plants and change things around. So now you know all my secrets, and I hope you've enjoyed your garden tour with me today. Bye-bye.
Plant your rose short or long, season with a cheerful song. Mother Earth will make you strong if you give her loving care.
Just saute them in your skillet, or roast them in your oven. Why, you can even toast them if you have a toaster oven. Enjoy a fruit and earthworm smoothie. Serve with ice cream. Watch a movie. Folks, there are hundreds of ways to serve this delectable protein source. Just use your imagination. And remember, what you don't consume, you can sell for a profit at your local bait store. Just listen to what this satisfied customer has to say.
Hi, Doody. My name is Wilma Lou Watkins. Oh, be quiet there, Maggie May. When my husband, Carl Ray, got laid off at the Feed and Seed a few months ago, we was down to only one TV. Maggie May, hush up. So, what we done was to see your ad. Oh, Maggie May. What we done was see your ad about the worm farm. So the kids and I and Carl Ray, we scrounged around and found bottles and cans and sold them till we had enough to buy one of those there kits. And now we have a steady income and we eat regular. Oh dear, did I have lipstick on my teeth?
Phone in your order right now, and we'll send you the Squiggly Wiggly Home Worm Ranch Kit, complete with 3 pounds of active viral earthworms, 5 pounds of my garbage so you can start feeding them right away, and a cute Rubbermaid bunkhouse for the little critters to live in. What would you expect to pay for such a valuable source of protein and income? It's not $39.95, it's not $29.95, it's not even $19.95. For $7.95 plus $14 shipping and handling, we'll send you your very own Squiggly Wiggly Home Worm Ranch Kit so you can start enjoying it right away. But wait, call in the next 10 minutes and we'll double your order. That's right, you'll get 6 pounds of viral healthy earthworms, 10 pounds of my garbage to feed them, and 2 cute little Rubbermaid ranch houses. To take advantage of this special offer, just call the number on your screen right now.
on September 8th, 2006. These 10 people began the adventure of a lifetime. 3 nights at Homer Cabin. Ken, what's the history of Homer Cabin and how did it get its name?
The historic Homer Cabin was built by my maternal grandfather, who was E.B. Homer, and there is both Homer's Nose, which is named after him, and Homer's Nose Grove of giant sequoia trees that's named after him. The cabin was built in early 1930s and was completed and completely paid for when they built it with wood that was cut at the old Atwell Mill just a couple of miles down the road. It's at Silver City, 4 miles west of the Mineral King area in Sequoia National Park.
Ranger Ken, the first night we were there and you cooked a great dinner for us. For dessert we had gooseberry apple walnut pie. Tell us about the gooseberries.
Gooseberries are a local plant that grows there wild. We went out and collected them, and in about 20 minutes I collected enough gooseberries to just flavor the pie. It's a member of the ribes family, and it's related to currants and some of the other similar plants. They're very prickly and very difficult to deal with, but once you squeeze the juice out of them, they're quite tasty.
Ranger Ken, tell me about the Soda Springs site.
The Soda Spring is about 2 miles south of Mineral King proper, and we hiked up there just an hour or so. And the site is a small spring where bicarbonate of soda water comes directly out of the ground. This water is probably percolated down through thousands of feet of limestone, picked up some of that bicarbonate, and comes out as a soda spring. And you just mix it with a little lemonade and make sparkling lemonade.
Say, Ranger Ken, these hummingbirds seem to be really active about dusk. What's going on there?
They are stoking up on sugar to last them through the night. They actually go into a period of torpor where their body chemistry slows down a little bit, and if they didn't stoke up in the evening, they would literally starve to death overnight.
Say, Ken, that Sawtooth Peak looks really rugged. The cabin's at 6,900 feet. Just how high is Sawtooth Peak, and when have you been up there?
I was up there 10 or 15 years ago, and the top of the peak is about 12,343 feet, and it's one of the higher peaks in the Great Western Divide. From there you can see Mount Whitney, you can see clear down into the Kern River drainage, you can see north to Triple Divide Peak, and a number of lakes around the base of it. The top of the peak is really tough going. You have to climb over boulders that are the size of houses.
Hey, Ranger Ken, I see in some of the pictures, pictures of two lakes together and another lake. What are those?
Those are Upper and Lower Monarch Lakes, and also Amphitheater Lake. The lakes themselves were probably originally barren of any trout, but years ago people who hiked up into the Sierras and came up on stock would have brought panniers full of live fish to plant into the lakes, so they had a number of different kinds of trout. Some of those lakes have had the trout removed so that the natural organisms that are in the lake can live in harmony with the lake.
you had me take pictures of Renee's scouring pads. What's up with that?
Renee had these pads that she really loved. She bought them at Safeway. She went back to buy more and they didn't have any. So she went on the internet and found them and bought a whole case of them, and she was telling us how wonderful they were, and she had brought one with her. So we took turns trying it out, and it really works well. So there you go. Power of the internet.